Okay, let's get how smart about septic tanks. So many times I'm asked, how do I know when it's time to have my septic tank pumped? Well, here's how you know. In a septic tank, you've got 3 zones. At the very bottom of the tank, you've got the zone where sludge accumulates. That's heavy waste that accumulates on the bottom there. Then the next zone up is a clear liquid zone. So you shouldn't have any type of waste material in that. It should be clear liquid. It's not actually clear, but it doesn't contain sludge, okay? And then the third zone, which is on top, is called the scum mat. And the scum mat is comprised of things like fat, oil, grease, hair, baby wipes, things like that. And it creates kind of a film. When it gets really thick, it becomes crusty, and it sits on top of the water in the tank. A lot of times when I open a septic tank, you're going to see water. It should be all the way almost to the top of the tank, because once the tank fills initially with water, that level stays there. And so if you flush the toilet, a gallon of water comes into the septic tank, a gallon of water goes out. So you should always have liquid up to the outlet pipe. What we need to know, though, in order to determine if it needs to be pumped, is we want to measure how much sludge is on the bottom of that tank, and also how much scum is at the top of the tank. The rule of thumb is if the amount of sludge on the bottom of the tank is more than 1/3 of the total liquid operating capacity, you should have the tank pumped. Or by that same token, if the scum mat on top is greater than 1/3 the total depth of the liquid at operating level, then you need to have the tank pumped. So what we're going to do is we're going to measure those 2 things and see where we are with this particular tank here. A simple way you can do this is take a board. What I use is a 2x4 cut in half, and I mark it every 6 inches. I start at the bottom, so I'll come up 6 inches, make a mark, and then I put a 1, and then a 6-inch mark, and then a 2, and so on. And so when I put that stick inside the tank, number 1, I can tell what the total liquid level is, operating level is. For example, it might be 3 foot, 4 foot, 5 foot, 6 foot. And I can also tell when I'm putting the stick down in there, often you can tell, you'll start to feel the layer of sludge at the bottom. You got to go real slow, and once you feel that, take a look at where your measurement is, and then push it all the way to the bottom of the tank, and that'll tell you how much sludge is on the bottom. And the same on the top. If the scum's on the top, you can go down, and when you feel the stick go through the scum on top, take a look at where the measurement is. That'll tell you how much scum you've got on top. So that's what I'm going to do at this time. Here's my stick. 1 foot, 2 foot, 3 foot, 4 foot, 5 foot, 6 foot, 7 foot, 8 foot. Let's hope we don't get to 8 foot. So the first thing you want to do is try to measure how much scum we have, which in this case we have barely any, so it's not even an issue. So I'm going to go ahead and lower this down very carefully until I start to feel the sludge on the bottom of the tank. I hardly felt any sludge. And so what we're at is we're at about 4 foot 3 inches. That's our operating level, because I'm on the bottom of the tank with this measuring stick. And you can see the liquid line there, just a little bit between 4 foot and 4 foot 6 inches. So we're at about 4 foot 3 inches. And the amount of sludge is well below 1/3 of that. So we don't have to worry about pumping this tank at this time. Pumping means having a commercial septic tank company come out, and they actually have a big truck they use with a vacuum on it, big hoses, and they put them right down in the tank here and suck everything out of it. Liquid, sludge, scum, everything. The other thing I want to point out on this tank, this is a rather large tank, 1,500 gallon. And it's also got a effluent filter here. And what this effluent filter does is you'll always have a bit of suspended solid waste floating around in there. And what you don't want is for that to get out into your drain field and start causing problems. That's again why you need to have your tank pumped on a regular basis, typically every 3 to 5 years. But when they pump the tank, you want to make sure that they take that filter and pull it out of there and clean it out with a hose. A simple garden hose, it works fine. Just don't get the hose submersed in any of the liquid in the tank, because you don't want that being on your hose, possibly getting back into your well water and contaminating that. But as you can see right here, this filter's got a T-handle, and it just simply pulls up out of there like that. Now you can see what I was talking about. The sludge, see this dark stuff here? That's sludge. This lighter stuff on top, that's scum. But this is why you need to clean this filter out whenever you have that tank pumped. We're going to go ahead and put this back in. There we go. And that's how you know when it's time to pump your septic tank.